This is Twit.
Jean, we first knew Jean when she worked at Smile, and of course was a fantastic advocate for still one of my favorite programs, Text Expander, and then I know currently you're community director for Micro.Blog, which I strongly support. This is a indie web version, open web version of Twitter. So if you're done with the Twitter experience, Micro.Blog. But it's also App Camp for Girls, where I really think this is a great project you're working on, and I just applaud you. And it's how many years now? You've really had some success.
Yeah, well, we started the camps in 2013, and we ran them every summer and 6 summers in a row. So over 250 kids who attended and got to learn how to make an app, and that's more than just coding. They learned the design, the brainstorming, the marketing even, and we did pitch sessions with the girls at the end of the week, and that was kind of our recital. So the parents came and the kids put on a presentation about the apps they created that week, how much they would charge for them, how they would make money, etc.
And you modeled it after a rock camp, right?
Yes.
Like where you'd create a song?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Rock camp is like you come in, you learn an instrument, you join a band, you write a song, and then you perform it on the last day of camp at a big music venue, like not just a camp. So it's very exciting, and it's so empowering because it just takes kids from a position of thinking, I don't even know how I would do that. I don't think I'm good enough to do that, to suddenly they're a rock star. So I wanted that rock star experience for kids who wanted to make apps.
The other thing I loved about App Camp was that you don't have to be a coder. There's this kind of thing floating around that every kid should be a coder. And you know what? Not every kid wants to be a coder. Not every kid has what it takes to be a coder. But in every app, there's more than just the person who's typing on the keyboard. There's people who are designing the marketing, who are designing the UI, the assets, the graphics. There's so many jobs around software development that I think there's a job for any child. And it's wonderful to get girls to the point where they see, I could have a role in this. But there's some very sad news about App Camp that just breaks my heart.
Yeah, you will not be alone in that heartbreaking experience. Basically, it comes down to this summer, the enrollment was just not there to put on the camps that were planned, and the board decided that rather than try to rather than try to somehow scramble to fill up the camps in the last, month before summer, to step back and say, we have worked hard at these camps, and every year, they've been awesome, but they've also gotten harder to put on. We've been burning out volunteers at a rate that isn't sustainable, and we need to. I say we. I'm actually not on the board. In fact, I stepped back from all of my official App Camp responsibilities in 2017.
That's what went wrong. They lost you.
Well, you could argue that because I was working for free, and that's. And when you have somebody working for free doing everything, that does seem really sustainable. Look at this! Oh my goodness, what we can do! But when you actually want to recruit professional nonprofit staff, they don't work for free, and
it's expensive.
My plan was to do it just for a short amount of time, but of course I loved camp, and I kept going with it longer than at that bargain basement price of free than I should have.
So we should say this had nothing to do with the lack of interest. Girls don't. This is a show. Girls don't want to be.
That's right. Oh no, it's nothing like that.
It was just sustaining and growing.
It's expensive.
Yeah, very expensive. Yeah. As you know, we have very expensive equipment for one thing. But more it was like the hands-on necessity of the staff, because if you're going to teach kids to go from 0 to finished app in 5 days, you need some very low, counselor to camper ratios. And so we had a lot of volunteers. Generally there were as many adults involved in a session of camp as there were kids that were being served. And it was wonderful. I mean, and they learned so much, but that's just not a sustainable model. And there are a whole lot more options for kids these days in the coding and, app making world. And that's another reason, that while it's bittersweet to say, we did what we could with this model that we thought we could work, but we really, we didn't understand the sustainability challenges till, we were pretty far into it. But there are other things that the kids can do. An app camp, our name is App Camp for Girls, but we do serve girls and transgender and gender non-binary youth, which is another way that the camp evolved over time too, is that, that became important to us fairly early on.
Yeah. No boys allowed. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a terrible,
That's the wrong way to think of it. It's a chance to give an opportunity to girls who are normally and transgender and gender neutral who are normally ignored in the workplace, especially in the technical workplaces. So I think it was a great way to do a leg up. I'm really just so proud of the work you did, and it shouldn't be in any way seen as a rejection of that. It's
we
transition.
have a very supportive community around us, and I did write a super long blog post about my take on how we tried and what we tried and why it maybe doesn't work. But I've gotten a lot of super nice responses to that. And also, we still have our WWDC benefit show. James Dempsey and the Breakpoints puts that on every year. And the announcement from the board really came too late for us to say, let's rejigger the whole show, the whole premise of the show, because, we had everything in place for an App Camp fundraiser. And so the fundraising, still takes place. The tickets that people buy will still go to App Camp to be part of the assets that we use to figure out how to forward the mission in other ways. But we announced that, and everybody's been really supportive of that as well. And I'm really, really grateful that we have such cool people in our community.
So live near WWDC will still, I love the name, will still go on.
Yeah, well, that's James. That's all James. Yeah.
That's great. That's really
We're
great.
very near it, this year, especially and last year in San Jose, because we're at the Ritz, which is like a block away from the convention center in San Jose.
Fun.
So will you be at the conference itself?
I won't be a ticket holder for Apple's conference, but I will be in town. My primary thing that I look forward to, besides playing guitar with James Dempsey, is the Micro.Blog meetup. We do a meetup every year, and it's been really cool because we started out really small, and now this will be our third annual meetup of what we call a micro meetup. And for us, that is the most interesting part of WWDC, because while we have 3 apps that support blogging and photo blogging and microcasting, and of course we're interested in what Apple does with iOS and with Marzipan, for us the big lab for Micro.Blog is to meet up with the community, because the community is what Micro.Blog is. The apps are tools for that. So that's pretty exciting for us.